Who is Benny Bennett?
Benny Bennett. Benny Bennett is a great and dear friend of mine. We met back in 1977. We both were playing on the first men's basketball team, and I have a picture of those guys right here. Benny Bennett is the young man right here. And to really tell you about he and I's relationship have to go back a little bit. My high school coach played for this coach who was our coach at Winthrop. And my senior year, he told me that his college coach was going to Winthrop to start up a men's team. So that's how I got to Winthrop. When I came to Winthrop, Benny, he had already been in college 1 year because he played at Newberry, where our coach, who coaches at Winthrop, had come from. And so we were roommates first year, and we played basketball with each other, and all through college. When we finished, I got married to my wife, Nina, October the 2nd in 1982. And shortly after that, Benny began to date my wife's cousin, Frankie Bennett. And a year later, after my wife and I were married, he and Frankie got married on September the 29th, which was at that time about 3 days before my wife's anniversary. Once we moved to Spartanburg, where I began to work. Benny went to finish school and went over to Fort Mill High School. He came to Clover for a while and taught PE. And he also coached basketball team here at Clover. And then he got the head coaching job over at Fort Mill High School. He coached there for several years. I remember when he used to bring his teams close to the Spartanburg area. My wife and I, we always went to his games and talked with him and watched his team. He had a very good team there at Fort Mill. And then later on, he told me that, Carl, I'm going to change and go to Clover to become their head basketball coach. And I need some help. I want you to come and help me coach, be my assistant, and help me coach the team. So my wife and I, this is how good of friends we are. We packed up our kids. We had 2 kids at a time, and then we moved to Sharon, where I originally lived. And I got a position here at Clover over the transportation department, over the school buses. And so during that time, I coached basketball, the boys' basketball, with Benny for several years. And to go back a little bit, he and I were such good friends in college that I would go home when we had a break to go to home with him. He would go home with me, and he was just like a brother. I have 2 other brothers, but he was just my 3rd brother. We did everything together, our wives and all, our kids. My wife and I are godparents to his children, Kelly and Brittany. We went on through college that way, and then after we both finished and we had our families, I moved just across the street in Cameron Acres from Clover High School here. And shortly afterwards, he and his wife and the family moved into Cameron Acres also, just down the street. So we've been connected for a long time, since 1977. And through those years, we hung out together. Our families did. I continued to coach with him. During my time when I was coaching, I had my bus license, CDL license. I drove to every game that we had, whether it was just across the county in Fort Mill or if it was all the way down in Savannah, Georgia. Wherever it was, I drove the team and Coach Bennett. One funny time, we were playing in a tournament over a Christmas break, and usually Benny usually took the reins of what we were going to run as a basketball team, what we were going to do. He made that decision. In one game, we were down in Columbia, and the team we were playing had, which we didn't know at the time, had a guy on that would become an NBA player, and I cannot remember his name. But we thought we were pretty good. Bennett thought we could beat him. We were sitting there, second half, and everything turned on us. The team was just really killing us. We were down, and Benny had a habit of putting his head in his hands like this, and when he was stressed out or upset about something, we couldn't find anything to stop those guys. And then me and the other coach, assistant coach, we were real quiet because we didn't know what to do either. He looked over to us. He said, "Guys, I'm open to suggestions of what we can do." And neither of us said anything. And so he just put his head back down in his hands and continued on. But to say the least, we got beat that night. And it was a fun time. And like I said, I always had fun with Benny. We'd laugh, we'd sit around and talk and watch football, basketball games all the time, looking over game tapes of our team and of our teams that we were going to play. We'd watch those films, and it wasn't a hard thing to do. It was just like two guys sitting around just really watching TV, and we were talking, and we made it fun. Then when he was in the accident that killed him, my wife and I, we were at a concert down in York. And she got a call from his daughter, Brittany, who said, "My daddy has been in an accident and it's real serious and we don't know if he's gonna make it." And she told me, and so told me to come on. We went out, and first thing I told my wife was that, not Benny. I admired him so much, and I thought he could withstand anything, you know. And I said, "Not Benny. Benny not gonna be killed in a car accident. That's just not him. That's just not the way he's gonna go." But it was true, and I lost a dear friend. We lost a good guy. At the time, he was a superintendent down in the Clover School District. I used to go down there and see him all the time, to sit down and talk with him in his office and talk with all the other employees. But he really, and I just saying that, he just really was just my guy. And it just hurt me to my heart and soul when he was taken away from us. Good guy. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.